And we certainly chose right, because Britain's elite rowers have spent weeks battling the wind and the rain. But today's the kind of day when, in their words, summer's finally come, and this is why they do it.
Morning.
And with this arena named after Redgrave and Pinsent, it's fitting that the men's team still centres on the coxless four, reigning world champions and determined to maintain Britain's golden tradition in this event.
Britain's record in the coxless four creates its own pressures. 24 races unbeaten is the current score, and 2 extra athletes have now been added to the squad, so it's perm 4 from 6 to find a crew to beat the world again.
I think we're not counting the last 2 years. That's done. Everybody had to fight really officially for his seat. We had some other combinations through the winter, and that works as well. By the end of the day, those 4 guys being the best for the coxless four, and so far, yeah, we start again from 0.
If the coxless four dominate the men's team, their counterparts in the women's have been the centre of attention over the winter, reinstated as world champions after the Russians were disqualified for a drugs offence.
The dying stages, 5 or 6 strokes remain. The Russians off through, but the British boat come back. One last time, the Russians, the British, the stroke for stroke, up to the line is going to be close, and it's going to be Russia.
Back in Dorney last autumn, the British crew had been expected to win, which made their defeat, albeit by a subsequently disqualified crew, all the harder to bear.
It's a really hard loss to take. You know, it's the Home World Championships in front of an incredible crowd. I had loads of people there cheering on, and it's not the one we want to lose, really. There's been a lot of tears shed since then. You know, the 4 of us in the boat all absolutely devastated with the result. A few years ago then we would have done anything to get the silver medal at the World Championships. I would have been incredibly happy with that, and the fact that we're all taking this so hard and shows that our expectations are now absolutely the gold standard and nothing less will do.
I still believe they should have won that race in Eton regardless, and so do they, and it's certainly been a lot sharper this winter, and we still watch the DVD, and that's the thing that sticks in our mind. And so
because they still come second.
Absolutely. So we're on a bit of a mission this year, of course.
The women's boat for this season shows 1 enforced change, but they still expect to be the crew that every other country has to aim for.
Sarah Winkless is out with a knee operation. That's a big loss, but conversely, it's a really significant gain in getting Annie Vernon stepping up. She's had a really good winter and has been very consistent in her performances.
So just how healthy is British rowing at the moment? Does it go into a new season with a wet nose and a wagging tail? Well,
we had a very good regatta season last year, and I think we've got some really strong medal chances in there. And again, you know, we don't know until we start racing. All the countries are going away, and there's one thing in this Olympic qualifying year: the standard steps up. We've all stepped up, but whether we've stepped ahead of the pack or stepping into the pack, we're going to find out.
It's been 9 months since we've raced them, and so they've obviously gone away for 9 months, scratched their heads, and thought, right, how are we going to beat the British? So we were expecting them to do something, try something new, and so you know, we were ready for that. And I think we didn't perform, you know, outstandingly well, but we did enough to win today, and still knowing that there's something in the pocket.
The feeling in the boat is, you know, a much more solid crew. It feels like I've really got one person behind me rather than sort of the old 3. And you know, today we were tested hard. You know, it's the first time we've had a crew go up on us, and we stuck together as one crew. Really felt solid. There was total control. Steve was giving the calls. You know, we had some good feedback from Pete in the middle. He was totally confident, and it really was a show from the crew to me of how confident the boat feels at the moment.
25 consecutive wins then under their belt, looking to make it 26. Great Britain slightly slow in that first 2 or 3 strokes, but look how long they are. They just reach out, they get a hold of it, and God, the legs go down, the power comes on. Hodgie there in the stroke seat, just moving them on. These are men on a mission. Germany 1 will be in lane number 1. There they are, top of the picture. Great Netherlands in 2, France in 3, Great Britain 1 in 4, the Czech Republic in 5, Slovenia in lane number 6, and the British crew looking pretty good in this opening stages of this final.
Yeah, good power stuff in the first 3/4 of a minute. Get off fast, get into a good position, and then find your rhythm. Then find something that allows you to carry that race right the way through the middle.
Look, Andy Hodge down. Look how long he gets them out. This is a great view here. They've got some pretty good length. They're just getting out onto it, and Jürgen really drills them. Get on the catch long, because if they lever their whole weight, they're just getting speed for nothing almost by getting the weight of their bodies behind the handle, moving the boat on. And they're getting speed along here now.
Well, interesting just watching Peter Reid. If you look, the others are drawing very high in the finish of the stroke to keep the blades buried deep. Peter Reid tends to draw it right down low at the finish of the stroke. If you just look at his hands, he's drawing it quite low, sitting there at 2 in the seat, just two in from the bowman, and he draws his hands very low.
So Great Britain then just easing into a rhythm as they come through the first 500 meters. Netherlands in 2nd position, France in 3rd. We knew the Netherlands would be slippy in that first 5. It now really looks in the second 5. Can they push on? Can they do something to rattle the cages of Great Britain? But 4 men sitting in front of you in the Great Britain crew in lane number 4. First, they unbeaten since they were put together 2 years ago, and they've been impressive ever since. But there's no doubt about it, in lane number 2, Netherlands really are now thinking, we've got to take this race on, and if we're going to do anything, we've got to take it on to the thousands.
As expected, they are taking advantage of that tailwind. They're doing that kind of constant movement that they do very, very effectively. They're experienced men. They won silver medal at the Olympics in the Dutch 8 in Athens, so they really know what they're doing. But look, you can see there's a real looseness of movement in the Dutch, and where you can see a lot of the power in the shoulders of the British 4, where we're tending to rely a little bit on our power and muscle, rather than just letting the boat move a bit more.
What we're not doing, Dan, is there's no push here. This is getting onto a speed, get into rhythm, get onto a speed, get out to 1,000. And what you'll see now is they'll try to move on here. There's no push in the first 1,000 on the British crew.
Interesting, the timing in the Dutch boat is not that good.
So Great Britain have just sat a canvas up on the Dutch right from the first stroke. Now through the halfway mark, we'll see Andrew Hodge in the stroke seat, backed up by Alex Partridge. Peter Reid and Steve Williams push it on. They usually just poise out, they cruise out to 1,000. Now they'll start to push it on. They've got to. They're going to have to open up, because the Dutch crew in lane number 2, they've just been at their ankles for the first 1,000 meters. There's Great Britain. Steve Williams to your right, Peter Reid there in the 2 seat, Alex Partridge in the 3 seat, and Andy Hodge there in the stroke seat. The lane order: Germany 1 in 2, Netherlands in Germany 1 in lane 1, Netherlands in 2, France in 3, Great Britain in lane 4, the Czech Republic in 5, Slovenia in 6. Down the Netherlands, they really are still there, aren't they?
Yeah, they're 36 strokes a minute, the British 4. Good and long, well together. They're moving very well. Just want them just to be relaxed and loose and let that boat run a little bit more between the strokes. But they're holding off the Netherlands. They've got really a good control of the race.
Just moving now, moving now. You can just see the rate just creep up here. And the interesting thing about watching Great Britain is when they do move, they get boat speed, bang, right on the stroke that they moved. I mean, it's a testament to obviously the power that's in the boat here. But they are able just to move it on here. And cheekily in lane number 3, France, 6th at the World Championships last year. Again, they've had a great regatta. They won their semi-final. You know, they've got some speed. They're finding speed in the early part of the season here in this first regatta. So half a length up with 500 meters to go. Great Britain leading. They've led from the first stroke, but there's no doubt about it. In the middle 1,000 meters, Netherlands in lane 2 have been right on their heels. But now we'll see that Andy Hodge in the stroke seat, just opening it up here. He's backed up very well by Alex Partridge in the 3 seats. Alex from Leander Club backing him up there.
Gary, look how quick they are on the front end of the stroke. You see how quickly they bury the blades. It's just fraction. It takes a fraction of a second. The blades are in and the legs are on. It's a great image of how to get connected at the first end of the stroke, at the front end of the stroke.
Looking at Netherlands in lane 2, back to France in lane number 3. And the French really must feel that they can have a go here. They must feel that we're really in amongst it. We've got Netherlands out in 2. We've got Great Britain's just still there over our shoulder. They've just got it hanging on here, still only half a length there. Now, can the Netherlands really move here in this closing 250 meters? Great Britain half a length up. I think the British crew must feel that, you know, we're still quite comfortable. We have got another gear to go to. They're starting to lift it up here. Now they're on 39, 40 strokes per minute here. They don't really want to go beyond 40 strokes and have to sprint it in, but the crew from Netherlands are starting to just get their heads down, because here come France as we come up to the line, less than 100 meters. Great Britain have got out to a length there. They got up to 40 strokes per minute. They've gone out to a length. The French pushing back. The heads have gone down in the crew from Netherlands in lane number 2. On the line is Great Britain. It's Netherlands just holding on from France, first, second and third. Well, that was an interesting race there from the British crew, because they just almost allowed the Dutch to come right up, almost level with them. Then they had that one change down, bang out to a length.
Look, they're turning the boat round fast. The smiles on their face, but they want to turn it round fast and do Steve Redgrave's favourite trick, which is to turn round. It hardly did anything to you, you know. This wasn't really tiring. We're turning the boat round, just padding back. It was something very, very straightforward and simple.
A race really, that was, you know, just a good workmanlike race. They did everything they needed to at each stage along the way, and then when it was called to up it in that closing 200 meters, just one lift up to 39 strokes per minute, out to a length, job done. Great Britain make it 26 wins in a row, coming first here. Netherlands pushed out to second, and France up into third. So a great start. There you can see what it means to them, winning their first regatta, 2007. Andy Hodge, Alex Partridge, Peter Reed, commander, sub-lieutenant in the Royal Navy. And as ever, cool, calm and collective there. The talisman in the bow seat, Steve Williams.
Over the period of this year, I have matured, you know, from 23 to 24, and, you know, not just as a sculler, but also as an adult as well. And, you know, I am serious about these Olympics, and you know, I am aiming for gold. There's no doubt about that. The aim has not changed whatsoever, and everything, you know, this is just one more step again towards that Olympic final for me.
Through 1,000 to 324, but more importantly, clear water on a world-class chasing field. Alan Campbell in lane 2 really now has to make sure this third 500 is where he puts the nail into it, nails all of these other 5 chasing scullers here. He's had an incredible first 1,000 meters, a little look left to there. Here is a guy who absolutely believes in himself here. But, you know, he's not just racing Hamburger from Netherlands in lane 1, Andrej Schinek from the Czech Republic in 3, Istop Chop from Slovenia in 4, Marcel Hacker from Germany in 5, and Olav Tufte from Norway in lane 6. He's racing one other guy who's not here today, Dan Mahe Drysdale, the reigning world champion, the Olympic. He's the guy who he knows he has to be the big contender for Beijing.
And his training partner, because in the winter they train together, so they are good friends, but they do keep their cards pretty close to their chest as well. What is interesting about this circuit of scullers going from World Cup to World Cup, it's a little bit like the tennis circuit. It's a little bit like Formula One. You know, you've got these guys, they know each other, they know each other's game plan, so it's real cat and mouse stuff between these guys every year. And all of these guys, they've all raced each other, they know each other's abilities, and now they're all coming back on Alan. Did he do too much in the first 500? They're all coming back at him. Even Hacker, who actually has been eaten up by the other scullers, but he's staying in there. He's staying in there. He's settled, and now they're chasing Alan.
Andrej Schinek, there he is, to the left of the picture there in lane number 3. He was the bronze medalist at the World Championships last year. He's leading the charge, and he pulls. And what happens is when you're in the single sculls, you charge and you just pull all the others with you. So as they go through now, 1,500 meters, 500 meters remaining. The lead has been dropped down to half a length. Remember, at 1,000 meters, there was clear water between Alan Campbell and everybody else. And you must think at this stage, Ondřej Šinec from the Czech Republic, as he must be building in confidence. He'll know, look, I might have timed this quite right. Let the youngster, the Northern Irish youngster, go out there, cause a little bit ripple on the water.
Well, Šinec's 24. He's the same age.
But he's been around so much longer.
He has been around
so much
but
longer.
he's been very calm all the way through there. But it's very unusual to see the big names in sculling, Chop, Hacker, and Tufte behind like that.
Šinec from the Czech Republic definitely coming through now, stroke by stroke, and just quite interesting there, looking at the demeanour of both of them. Šinec, the closest to us, he's up tall, he's confident. You can see he's actually relishing all of this. It looks a little bit sluggish in the white boat there in lane 2. Alan Campbell there, looking his shoulders slightly down. He's just a little bit short on the stroke, and Šinec from the Czech Republic, just stroke for stroke, coming through now. Will Alan Campbell respond here? He has got a sprint. Here comes the sprint now. Alan Campbell knows that he can push this in for the last 150 metres.
He's got up to 38 strokes a minute now, yeah.
Coming through, and here comes Olaf Tufte out of your view here now. But this is going to be a great closing stage to the first final of the 2007 World Cup Series. Ondřej Šinec from the Czech Republic coming through in first position. Here comes Marcel, ever increasing the rate here. Alan Campbell will hang on to the silver medal position. Goes through Czech Republic, Great Britain, Germany through, and Tufte, and also it's got Chop there coming in. But it was still reasonably close there, Dan.
Yeah, he did a very good job. I mean, he did get caught in the third 500 by Šinec, and he tightened up a little bit in the shoulders, and he started to lift his shoulders again. So it'll be very, very interesting to see how he takes this away and how he starts to rethink his race plan.
A fantastic start there from Alan Campbell, but he was caught in the closing stages of that race. The Czech Republic first, Alan Campbell from Great Britain second, Germany in third. A great start then from Ondřej Šinec from the Czech Republic. Time to perfection. Alan Campbell in silver medal position will be pleased with that. And Marcel Hacker, well, he held on there to the bronze medal position. And Alan Campbell there. What a good result he had, really, for the first 1,500 metres. He went out so strong in the first 1,000. He had clear water going through the halfway mark. Dennis Oswald, who is the president of FISA and an IOC member. He's the guy also looking over the preparations for London 2012. Keep smiling, Alan.
He's really come in and set his standards very high, whether it be on the ergo or on the water, and it's certainly lifted the standard of the group. And I'm quite excited about what those. We're just going around quietly, but quietly excited about what that group can do. And he and Mark in the double, you know, I think they'll build through the season, but you know, if they get it right, they could be very, very fast.
And without stating the obvious, you know, but as a coach, how difficult is it to get somebody to go from rowing by themselves and so in a very single-minded way to actually being part of a team?
Yeah, well, that's something that the coaching team have been working on, and you know, over the winter we've been incorporating more and more of the crew boat work with Zach, and really focused on 4 scullers through the winter to bring them on to work exactly on that. So I'm sure by the time August comes around they'll be a very tight unit.
Great Britain now going to have to just really turn the screw if they're going to make any impression on Denmark. Denmark are the world champions in this event. Great Britain are the pretenders with 2 years, well, not 2 years, with a year to go, but this season and next season to go for Beijing. And Great Britain currently sitting in second position, being pushed along here. Denmark out there in first. Looking very, very strong. A lane order: Canada in 1, Greece in 2, Denmark in 3, Great Britain 4, Hungary 1 in lane 5, and Japan, who really have not showed anything, are in lane number 6.
The Danes take no prisoners at all, but I think that we saw in the semi-finals that there was a very good second half that came from the British double. So do expect them, I think, to open up a little bit from the rest of the field, but I'm not sure how much impression they're going to be able to make on this very fast-moving double scull.
That was Canada. We're looking at Canada. Douglas Vandor sits in the stroke seat, keeping a head up, gasping for breath. He looked like he was there, but they will do in the second part of the race here, because it's really starting to burn now on the legs. And the top boat there of the picture, that's Canada in lane number 1. Look at the race. It's still up high, nice and high for Canada, high for Great Britain. Looking at Mark Hunter to the left of your picture from Marlow Rowing Club, and Mark Hunter from Leander Club, Zach Purchase from Marlow Rowing Club. Darren wider is their coach, but out front race leaders just making it look like a stroll in the park.
Look at the distance there, 2.5, maybe nearly 3 lengths.
It's going to take us some fireworks, isn't it? It's going to take a real turnaround, and you can't really see Great Britain sort of just moving on here. We've got a little over 500. Closing stages now, 500 meters remain, the final of the lightweight men's double sculls, and Great Britain doing very well. They absolutely are doing very well. They're in the silver medal position. They're not going to catch, unless they really spark it up, they're not going to catch the world champions Denmark, Rasmus Quist and Mads Rasmussen from Denmark, who have led right from the beginning. They've looked very, very impressive.
They have, haven't they? I mean, they've kept their rate of striking higher than everybody else, but that's the way they do it. And if you remember the Danish 4, they used to be high raters, powering stuff, and they used to go out in front and nobody could catch them. That's the way this double works. They go out, they're up there at 35 strokes a minute, and they just keep pumping it down, and it's very effective. They're very, very well together, and nobody can catch them. But you've got the British double now beginning to open up from the rest of the field, and that's very, very effective. It's very good for them to come here for this first outing together and be in a medal position like this.
It's a tough event without a doubt. Great Britain currently in second position. They've got to hold off the fight that's coming behind them. Hungary in lane at number 5 now starting to move on. Japan in lane number 6 starting to build it in. Over there in lane number 1, Canada, and that's Great Britain. So Great Britain have opened up a clear length of water as we go past the boating area. We have about 175 meters remaining, a little less now, and still Denmark in lane 3. Keep the rate high, keep the boat speed out. They want daylight between them and the rest of the field. Great Britain now starting to just ease up again on the rate. They are clear of a chasing pack. The race really is on for the bronze medal as Denmark come over the line. The world champions again kicking off well. Great Britain get a great silver medal position, and as we come across the line, Canada up there in lane number 1 get the bronze. So it's Denmark, Great Britain and Canada. And there it is, Great Britain in second place. They were well off though, the world champions Denmark, who take the gold, and Canada held on for bronze. And a great silver medal for Great Britain. The smiles tell it all. Hunter on your left, Zach Purchase on your right. Could this be the golden double that takes us through to Beijing?
Our plan always has been, and we've sort of succeeded to some extent before and not really all the way, is to really get out ahead of the rest of the pack and lead from the front.
I'm not here to try and live up to other people's expectations. I'm here to provide my own little bit of magic in the crew, my own little bit of ability. So yeah, I think the 4 of us together work really well.
It's the Olympics coming up, and we're out here to set our standard, set our mark and win that gold.
First stroke away, and Great Britain have gone off nice and strong. Catherine Granger in the stroke seat, backed up by Frances Horton in the 3 seat. Debbie Flood behind her, and the new girl in this crew, although not new to international racing, Annie Vernon from Thames Rowing Club up there on the bow seat. Nice and quick off, a little bit high on the blades there at the catch. A little bit of sort of stabbing at it as we go through.
It happens really because you know there's a lot of water flying around. You just don't want to catch your blades at all. So you want to take big sweeps around, make sure that you're clear of all the puddles that are running around. Keep it clean, but also it's power. There's no smooth running of the boat yet. You're building up the power. So you are using quite a lot of power just to get the boat shifting from a dead weight.
Power they're unleashing now. Great Britain in lane at number 3, already 3/4 of a length up, and we've only through about 250 meters. Looking at China 1 in lane number 4, still looking pretty good on the technique there. Feng in the stroke seat, leading, looking to the right, just looking at the puddles of Great Britain in lane number 3.
They're very well drilled, aren't they? I mean, just look at the way those sculls stay absolutely parallel. That's fantastic preparation. Very good.
British boat moving along nicely, Dan. Just the hands moving away. The boat speed is, this is glorious conditions. We've got perfect water here. You can really see, you can enjoy the race here. They've got one lane. They can look back. They can move on from here.
I do like this. I mean, they've gone off very high. They're staying up there at 35 strokes a minute. It's very, very dynamic and aggressive. It's terrific stuff.
It's an incredible 1-length lead from Great Britain in lane at number 3 as they go through the 500, and it's increasing on each and every stroke. They've now got clear water on Germany in lane 2, China 1 in lane 4, China 2 in lane 5, France over here in lane number 6, hanging on here, but at the moment, there it is. Look at that. It's almost machine-like there, watching how precise they are at both ends.
this is how we used to be. We used to expect the Germans to behave. This is what happened always, and the Germans were always unbeatable. They would go out in front like this and were imperious. And now it's Great Britain doing the same thing. And this is really tremendous, tremendous stuff. Because they're rowing within themselves. They're moving very, very sweetly. The boat's moving without any dip, without any check.
Back to China in lane number 4. Again, you can see how things step up down from the semi-final to a final. So you can't afford to blink on the start, otherwise you're going to be left. And China just been left there.
China qualified 2 seconds faster in their semi-final. They won their semi-final. They were 2 seconds faster than the British. But look how it changes around. I mean, this is great stuff. When they're when they're let loose, they're let off the leash, they are really extraordinary. Look at that.
It's just a delight to watch now. They can start to just stretch out. The ratings come down. The intensity will not have come down. They'll still be at it. It'll be still quite powerful and punchy through the water, without a doubt. But they're just looking now to stretch out as they come through the halfway mark. 1,000 meters then gone. Great Britain now in a very comfortable position. They punched off in that first 10 strokes of this final of the women's quadruple sculls, and now they can afford to really reap the benefit of that in the third 500. It's heads up, it's enjoying it, it's reaching out and getting maximum boat speed, because Great Britain starting 2007 as they mean to go on.
One of the things that the British quad has developed is a rhythm and a swing. I mean, just looking at them as we approach the halfway point, you could see that great swing that they had. It was a rhythm that every crew is trying to find. Just take a look now and just see how they're in that rhythm, in that swing that really, really moves the boat well. When you're that well together, nothing can stop you. So it feels easy. It feels easy, which is what we were talking about earlier on. It's that sort of wanting to make it look easy, although you're working like hell underneath.
A lot of time, a lot of investment gone into this quadruple scull. Paul Thompson's worked quite hard in getting it. You know, they've sweated blood, really, haven't they, in that sort of sense of getting it right. And who knows now, hopefully now in this last year out to Beijing, they can just really get the confidence to dominate the race after race, and not be any kind of situation where they have to start fighting for it.
Well, Paul Thompson has led a group of coaches who've done some wonderful things with British women's rowing. So they're bringing on that women's 8, they're bringing on the pair, and they really have got a very good squad of women. And this is the leader of that pack.
It's incredible, absolutely incredible. Great Britain, as they come up to the 1,500 meter mark, have got about a length of clear water from the rest of the field. That is just a joyous position. 1 1/4 length clear water from Great Britain, a good almost 5 seconds back to China 1, Germany in the current bronze medal position. There is a fight for the bronze. Great Britain aren't concerned about that. It's now a call of really heads up. Let's enjoy this. Let's make a statement to the rest of the world. If you want to do the quadruple scull, we are the crew to beat, and you're going to have to be really, really good. They are looking top form.
Gary, missing from here are the Australians, who were second at the World Championships last year, so don't forget about them. And also Germany. This is the German second boat, really. The top people were in doubles, racing each other in the double sculls earlier on, and will produce.
They'll produce
a quad.
They'll produce a
quad that will be very good. Whether it can challenge this very, very good.
Great shot. Annie Vernon there in the bow seat closest to us there.
Do you see that swing? Do you see that, how they're coming back at it all together? There's very, very little difference in the way that they're moving.
Don't you just want to be in there, in amongst it? When the boat's moving like that, it's so inviting to you just think you could sit in there, drop the blade in, move along nicely.
A quad is the nicest boat to row.
Absolutely.
It's a lovely boat to row.
Absolutely.
It goes fast with very little effort. Well, it seems very little effort.
So inside 200 meters now, and Great Britain really stretching it out. What they're doing is they're bringing the rate down a little bit, and they're just applying a little bit more power to see if they can push the boat out without having to do any kind of sprint. China are really up on it, still on 38, 39 strokes per minute. Great Britain down on about 33, 32 strokes per minute. They're now just paddling up. Here come China up to the line, but it's Great Britain just poised to take the first gold medal of 2007 in their campaign. And right from the start, they were just perfect. Great Britain in first position and China in second. We're just waiting for the confirmation of the third position there. But
that was a confident row. I mean, that's some of the best sculling that they've ever done. I think that was really very, very good.
And Germany getting into the bronze medal. So Great Britain open it and do well in first. Second place is China, and bronze goes to Germany.
Well, China are going to be very, very difficult to deal with right across all the events in Beijing. They really are gearing up well. But there's Germany, their second group. Youngsters there, just being blooded. Very pleased with that third position. They came through from a long way back, so that was a very good effort from Germany. They came right through the field. But a totally dominant win for Great Britain.
Look at you can just see the eyes, the focus.
Look at Debbie Flood in the two-seat. In the two-seat. Look how focused she is. Oh, fantastic.
She's an unbelievable racer there, and I think Catherine Granger is doing a fabulous job in the stroke seat. She's doing an absolute, and they've got the right positions. Fran Horton there behind her in 3 she just allows her to, because she's such a tall, and the levers there, they give great length. And then you've got Debbie Flood, who just fights. She's a real racer. She loves to race there, and technically she's just getting better and better. China won.
I just think they're so well drilled, the Chinese. I just look at the blades, how parallel they are as they come through. Now perhaps just a little bit early at the catch. But this application of power, look how they pick up the blades the moment that the blades connect with the water, the legs take up the strain. Great sculling, great sculling.
It's almost perfect. It's almost perfect. And which, at this stage of, there's a couple of little things. There was a stroke out. They were going over the line there, but you know, it must be a great position to be in. No, so Great Britain on the top of the pile as they carry on through 2007. China in second place. Germany in third. Great Britain there get the applause, rightly and well deserved there. They've opened their 2007 account in fine style. That's Catherine Granger in the stroke seats, getting her whatever it is. We'll find out what that is afterwards. No doubt she'll be selling it at the airport later. Frances Horton, look at her tall. She's so tall, the levers, the length that she can generate. Debbie Flood, she's all about racing. She gives it the drive and the punch in the bows. And Annie Vernon, a great start for Annie Vernon's Olympic campaign in the top boat. Germany closest to us, beyond them Canada, halfway mark Croatia, the Skillen brothers lane at 2. They've closed up, the chasing field have closed up. Great Britain remained though at the back of the pack, starting to fall off now. They have got to really have a very, very good third 500 meters, because the Croatians have done enough to keep out there, just to keep in that rhythm, and it's about chasing. You never really want to chase, you always want to be in control. And the problem with Great Britain is their position, they'll be chasing. They're not going to have the ability to breathe, relax and enjoy, whereas out front here you get into your rhythm, you can look back, you have the ability and the privilege to just enjoy where you are, and that gives you a better position to step up.
It is disappointing when they're in the middle of the race course here. They won their semi-final. You would have expected them to be up there with the leading group.
But a new combination down, they're still finding their way.
Yeah, but you still would expect them, after the performances that they've done in the heats and the semi-final. They won their heat, they won their semi-final, they were actually out in front. And this is you know, they've left themselves with a lot of work to do. They're still in the pack there. They've still got a lot of work to do though if they want to try and get onto the medal podium.
Starting to work though, they're starting to move without a doubt. Look, oh, great pictures. Look at the bows slicing through, really glorious water here. You're out there in amongst it, all the noise. There's not much talking in the Cox's pair, so all you're hearing is the blades just going in, coming out, the boats just singing as they go across.
But Gary, look now just look how the Brits are coming through. They have come through now into third place.
Second, look on
the overlap. They've moved past Canada. They've moved past Canada. They're in a very, very good position here now.
So they've had us on the edge of our seats for the first 1,500 meters. Great Britain's Colin Smith and Matt Langridge in lane at number 3 had a dismal first 500, but now they are starting to move into second position. At one point they were last considerably on all of this field now. They've had a pretty good last 100-meter burst. It's pushing on Croatia, who had clear water on the field at 500 into 750 gone. are going to be struggling. There's Great Britain starting to move.
Did you see Colin talking? He's sitting there in the bow seat. He's sitting there just coaxing Matt up, just making sure that he knows where he is on in the race and winding him up. They're now up to 39 strokes a minute, and they are eating into the lead there of Croatia.
This is what they love, Dan. They love the race situation. They don't like being at the back of the field here where they're thinking, let's get into our position. This is their strong point now. They're half a length down, and as you say, every stroke, the bows of the British boat creep, creep, creep. But watch out, the Czech Republic in lane number 1 creeping with us as well. But Croatia now, the heads have gone down in the Skillet brothers from Croatia in lane number 2. The British will be on the far side, all the teams there, and the supporters will be pushing us in. 150 metres remaining, and the British crew now are up on 40 strokes per minute. Matt Langridge looks to the right. Where's the finishing line? Keep their head up, keep the focus. They're into first position with 75 metres remain. It's a race that was absolutely timed to perfection. They're going away again from Croatia. Great Britain now open their 2007 account with a fabulous win there. And what a race. They had us right on the edge of our seats here. And fantastic finish there. It was Great Britain in first position. It was Croatia who were pushed out into second position, and we're just waiting for the confirmation of who got into third, because they all came through, and we're just hearing now Germany get the bronze medal position. But really was a great result. And look at that, those guys, it's almost like they're
Colin
just...
Smith is hardly breathing. He's hardly out of puff. That was an extraordinary, just as we were saying, very disappointing here. We had hoped that they should be up there and what do? In about a minute and a half, they go from last to first. That was an astonishing performance from that pair. They are going places.
And there it is, top of the field, Great Britain, Croatia, and Germany and Canada way back there in 5th position. This could be a great event to watch for the rest of the season. There have been great names in the past receiving this medal in the men's coxless pairs. Colin Smith, Matthew Langridge, another combination to add to that list. Colin Smith on your left, look at the size different. Matt Langridge on your right, victorious today. What a great race. They really showed us how to race. A little bit slow off the start, but they were quick all the way through. Then of the heavyweight men's double sculls. Great Britain were down in the first 500 meters. They're now poised and moving. That's a wrong caption because France were just up ahead of them. But what is on is a race in this last 500. Estonia 2 in lane 1. France, the Olympic and world champions who led so convincingly at the halfway mark in 2. Germany 1 in 3. Great Britain in 4. Australia in 5. Estonia in lane number 6. And the British double have got stronger and stronger. But coming with them, Germany through also in lane number 3. Estonia at the top of the picture. They're moving on fast as well. And the French seem suddenly, though, just to be coming off it, to be easing, paying for that early speed in the first part of the race.
Look at the power now being exerted there. Big power, well together, good winter's training, and they've pushed the rate up now to 38 strokes a minute. They are really pumping, and they've got about 250 meters to go.
So the world bronze medalists from 2006 now lead the race. Now they've just got to watch Estonia 2 up in lane number 1. Here comes a Great Britain powering it on. Inside 200 meters now. Still 5 boats all in a line. Just creeping ahead, Great Britain. Estonia 2 up there in lane number 1, pushing on. Coming through also Germany 1 in lane number 3. Inside 100 meters now. The British crew are just simply holding on. It's about keeping their heads up. Estonia 2 in lane 1 coming on. Germany coming through. It's going to be so close. They've got 5 strokes remaining. Are the British crew just hanging? And a great victory for Great Britain in this opening 2007 World Cup series here. They timed it so well. Great Britain first.
Wonderful second half there. From 1,000 meters on, they were motoring and motoring. That was good reading of the race. They moved very, very well indeed. No Slovenia here, remember. No Bulgaria, came 5th last year, but that was a great performance.
Results there, Great Britain first, Germany second, and Estonia 2 in 3rd position. A great start to 2007. The medal ceremony for the men's heavyweight double sculls. Wells, Stephen Rowbotham. Again, a great win for them. Everything stepped of the way, and that last 200 meters just holding off. Steve Rowbotham there just getting his medal. Matt Wells on the left.
Well, overall, it's been a pretty successful afternoon in Austria for British crews. We've got 3 more medals to report. This is Matt Beachy and Daniel Hart taking bronze behind the Italians and the Dutch in the lightweight men's pair. And then bronze was also the colour for the lightweight men's coxless 4 of Richard Chambers, James Lindsay-Finn, Paul Mattick and James Clark. Romania took the gold in that event. And then perhaps surprisingly, the women's 8, well done to them, sneaking into a silver medal position behind the German crew, although sadly the men's 8 were out of the medals, which with a bit of totting up here means that Great Britain have won 4 gold, 3 silver and 1 bronze, which is not a bad haul.
That's a good weekend. It is the first World Cup of the series, and we tend to do quite well at the beginning as we get closer to the World Championships, with more of the other nations sending their top boats to sort of squeeze us down a little bit. But some really good performances there. The best ones you've got to look out for, obviously, the 2 main boats of the women's quad and the men's 4. We expect them to do well. But the men's pair, really good performance of a new combination. Matt Langridge is a very good athlete and obviously starting to get some really good results, as well as the men's double world champion, world bronze medalist from last year, starting off a very good campaign.